Our guest this morning at 7:38 is not going to be building the Ritz-Carlton in Rancho Mirage. Arguable if anyone is at this point in time. And he certainly won't be opening a marijuana dispensary in town either. But he is still the library director in Rancho Mirage, David Bryant. David, good Monday morning.
Good morning, Gene. Thanks for having me on, although that was quite an introduction.
Great to have you here. We're trying not to make you laugh. Thank you very much for getting out of some dire straits to join us on this Monday in late January.
Well, I had a little gallbladder work done on Friday, but I think I'm holding my own and expect to be back in the office tomorrow.
Oh, good. They didn't botch the job, did they?
Apparently not. I'm talking to you.
Well, I hate to think of the idea that botching the job means you wouldn't have been. Well, a lot of things coming up in the Rancho Mirage Library, and a lot of folks obviously know, because we have very active and very, very thorough libraries here around the desert, that libraries are more than places for just a place to hang out or grab a book off the shelf. You got a lot of things that you do over there. Let's talk about some of them that are coming up here in late January, early February, and in through the spring.
Well, tomorrow night, for instance, Gene, we have our dear friend Joel Hochberg, and I know he's been on your broadcast and on with Steve a number of times. Joel is a documentarian who retired here in the desert and I guess found life number two. He had come out of marketing and certainly Hollywood, and he found his video cam to be the tool of choice, and he's made some wonderful shorts, which we're showing tomorrow night. These are called Joel Hochberg's Evening of Very Short Shorts. So some of these films run under a minute. So if somebody's attention span is limited, and I confess that I might fall in that category, if you don't like one, you'll like the next one. So that's an evening that people who love film and like what Joel does with a video cam will be pleased about. Then we have...
and that's free, by the way?
Oh, yeah, that's free.
Yeah.
We suggest a contribution. We now have what we call our pretzel bucket, which is the Utz Pretzel Company from
Pennsylvania.
From Pennsylvania, and we hold it out at the end of the show. If people enjoy it, they put in a couple of dollars, and we've collected some dollars doing this. This is all part of explaining to our public that though the programming is free, it's not without cost. Well, we have also coming up next Monday, Diana Henriquez, who is a New York Times writer who's written, I think, the definitive book. There's been 5 or 6 books on Bernie Madoff, but her book is The Wizard of Lies, and Diana had access to Bernie Madoff prior to and since his arrest and conviction that no other author has had. She has actually visited him in prison in North Carolina twice. So she's really written a remarkable book about the mind of Bernie Madoff, his strategy, and really the evil that this man conducted in the name of sound investment and tricking his investors. So it's that promises to be a very good, informative evening. This Thursday we have 1:30. The last appearance of the season for Bill Goudalounis. He's a professor, retiring professor at College of the Desert. He comes to our library and absolutely fills the house. We get 350 plus on a Thursday afternoon. And his topic this time is America's first declared wars, and in this case it's the Mexican War. So Bill knows his stuff. He makes it entertaining, but you also leave with a great understanding of the of these great historical moments that we may have heard about in high school or college, but we probably have long since forgotten. So it's these are great programs for us.
Right. In addition to all of these things, which are all presented free, of course, from time to time you have some musical performances there as well. You just finished one up on Sunday, in fact. And when do you have another one of those maybe coming up? Well,
we had the Travis Brass, which is the quintet from the Air Force Band who was touring the West, and they performed for us yesterday. We had a full house for that. We have on January 31st, next Tuesday, James Giles. And people who are familiar with our calendar know that when James comes in, he's just an extraordinary pianist. And he's an educator. He's studied at Manhattan School of Music, Juilliard, Eastman School of Music in Rochester, New York. He's just an extraordinary talent. And he comes to town with his whole family, and then he, of course, performs for us. And that'll be next Tuesday evening at 7 to 8:30 p.m. Classical music at the very highest order. And, of course, our piano, as we think of it, as the best in the Valley. It's a Steinway, and it's an extraordinary piano that was a gift to our library by a number of great people, great great people who really support our library. So it's a very special evening of music for us. I wanted to, while we have your listeners, just give you some stats, if I may, just for a minute.
Yes.
We've been open in our present location, 6 years. We still call it the new library because the library is 16 years old. But in the present location on 111, and in that time we've had 3.7 million books checked out. 1.9 million people have visited. 170,000 people have attended our programs, and we've offered 6,000 events for people of all ages. I thought that was pretty astonishing for a 6-year-old building.
In a relatively small town, at least by American standards, the way cities are measured.
Absolutely.
Right,
Rancho Mirage population full-time is 17,000. Winter population we think is about 30. But, of course, we serve the whole valley. Still pretty extraordinary numbers for a for a public library. So anybody that thinks libraries have lost their relevance should come and witness really our operation. We're going full charge all day long.
All right. Well, we've come a long way from a card catalog as well. Tell us what kind of arrangements we have, because you're a city-run library. I know Palm Springs is a city-run library, and many of the other cities in town are part of the Riverside County library system. So do we need a separate card, or do they even do cards? Maybe they're reading the irises in our eyes now to let us in. Who knows?
Well, we haven't gotten to reading the irises in the eyes, but we... anyone who lives in the state of California can have a library card with us.
Okay.
That's all that somebody has to bring in is a driver's license, photo ID of some kind to demonstrate that they reside in the state of California. If they don't, if they're seasonal residents, well, we have we think a pretty fair program for those folks. It's $35 for 6 months for a library card. For instance, we have many people we know from Minnesota, from the state of Washington, from Oregon, et cetera, who are here for the winter. We welcome those folks, and we give them full library privileges for $35. Now, if they own a home in Rancho Mirage, that's free, of course, because then we look at that property ownership as their right to a library card. So we try to distribute as many library cards as we can. We have almost 40,000 cards out right now.
Oh, that's fantastic. And, of course, if somebody finds a book or something from another library and would like to get it to the Rancho Mirage library, you have reciprocal agreements where you can arrange that?
Absolutely. We go pretty far afield, too, Gene. We traverse the earth, if not to get too carried away here on a Monday morning, but we'll go anywhere to find a book for someone that we don't have on our shelves. And we have a very solid automated system that's been in place for decades, really, that we jump onto and we subscribe to, that allows us to find those books wherever they're located around the world. And we've brought books in from foreign countries, et cetera. So we think that's an impressive service. We don't tout it too much, but we think it's a very good service for researchers in particular.
I see the Rancho Mirage Public Library Foundation is presenting the Annenberg Retreat at Sunnylands coming up right after Valentine's Day. Tell us what this is, David.
Well, that's on Wednesday evening, Gene, the 15th of February, and this is really the first public event that has to do with what we've all witnessed going up there on Bob Hope. When you see the visitor center behind the pink wall, it's quite an impressive structure. And this will celebrate the soon-to-be opening of that to the public, that facility, and as well as the whole Annenberg estate to the public on March 1st. What we offer that evening for $50 is to hear a talk by Jeff Cowan, who is the president of the Annenberg Retreat. And we also have Janice Lyle coming. Janice is well known in our valley, former director of the Palm Springs Art Museum, and just a great mind, a great PhD who really has kept cultural standards very high in our valley, visual standards in particular to the arts. But she will give us the history of the Sunnylands estate. People who attend will also get a book about complimentary book from Palm Springs Life about the estate. The ticket for this event is $50. We'll have a reception following it. Nice opportunity to get a bit of a preview on what will be big news when the Annenberg estate really opens up to the public. We think that may be sold out, so I don't want to tease too many people with that, but if you're interested in attending, you'd best really take action as early as today at the library and see if there are any tickets left. because we have sold very quickly. We sold 250 tickets very quickly. We were surprised at how quickly they sold. But it's a nice evening.
David Bryant, Library Director at the Rancho Mirage Public Library. Give us the hours of operation, a phone number, and a website, because these days it seems everyone has one.
Well, we're open Monday through Saturday. Our hours are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Saturday, with the addition of a Wednesday evening. We're open until 8. So 9 to 6, but 9 to 8 on Wednesdays, Monday through Saturday. And our phone number is 760-341-7323. And our website is ranchomiragelibrary.org. And our website is full of what's going on, and there's a lot happening.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad folks can catch up with you. I'm glad we can catch up with you. And again, tip your hat and ours to the doctor. They did some great work. Glad you can join us this morning for a few minutes to update us on what's happening on a great library there on Highway 111.
Oh, my pleasure, Gene. Thanks so much for having us on, and thanks for always boosting our library. We really appreciate it.
Our pleasure. David Bryant, thanks so much. Library Director at the Rancho Mirage Public Library.